Islam teaches us honesty, transparency, and responsibility in financial matters. If you are struggling and cannot repay immediately, Islam does not demand the impossible, but Islam demands truth. Speak, explain, communicate, ask for time with sincerity. Allah puts mercy and honesty even when you are weak. But Allah removes Baraka when someone pretends, avoids, or deceives. This also includes salaries and wages. If you employ someone, if someone works for you, if someone provides a service, their payment is their right. Delaying wages, cutting payments unjustly, or making excuses after benefiting from someone's effort is extremely dangerous for your Baraka. The Prophet reminded us strongly to give the worker their wages before their sweat dries. Money taken unjustly does not stay long. It may solve today's problem, but it creates tomorrow's hardship. A believer understands that success built on injustice is not success. It is a test that will collapse sooner or later. Even if people forget, Allah never forgets. Wealth becomes heavy when it carries oppression. It becomes light when it carries honesty. If you want Allah to put peace in your earnings, clear the rights of people from your wealth. Return what is not yours. Fulfill what you owe. And if you cannot, be truthful and humble. Baraka does not live where injustice lives. Baraka lives where fairness, trust, and sincerity are protected. Another place where money completely loses its Baraka is when it is stored in a heart filled with fear, anxiety, and constant worry. My brothers and sisters, this is something many people experience today, yet they do not realize its spiritual danger. They have money, but they never feel secure. They earn, but they never feel relaxed. They save, but they are constantly afraid of losing it. And slowly, that fear itself becomes the reason their money stops bringing peace. Islam does not teach us to be careless with wealth, but Islam also does not teach us to live in constant fear of provision. Risk is from Allah. Your effort is required, yes, but the result is always from Him. When a person begins to believe that their safety, happiness, and future depend entirely on how much money they hold, the heart quietly disconnects from Allah and attaches itself to wealth. And when that happens, money becomes a source of stress instead of stability. Some people check their accounts again and again, not because they are planning, but because they are anxious. They fear sickness, fear loss, fear tomorrow, fear people, fear the economy. Their minds are always calculating worst-case scenarios. And even when Allah gives them enough, their hearts never feel enough. This constant fear suffocates Baraka. Wealth does not flourish in a heart that is always panicking. The Prophet taught us balance. Tie your camel, but trust in Allah. Work, but rely on Allah. Save responsibly, but do not let money become your God. When fear controls your relationship with money, you begin to hold too tightly. You delay good. You avoid charity. You hesitate to help others. You become emotionally attached, and this attachment blocks divine ease. Many people think hoarding will protect them, but hoarding with fear only increases anxiety. True security does not come from numbers. It comes from yaqeen, certainty in Allah's promise. Allah has already written your provision before you were born. No amount of fear can increase it, and no amount of panic can protect it. When money is stored with obsession, it drains emotional energy. You may notice sleepless nights, constant tension, irritability, and a feeling that something bad is always about to happen. This is not peace. This is imprisonment. Money was meant to serve you, not rule your heart. Baraka comes when wealth is held with calm trust. When you know that what Allah has written will reach you, and what He has not written will never reach you, the heart relaxes. When the heart relaxes, wealth becomes lighter. Decisions become wiser. Giving becomes easier, and life becomes more manageable. Islam teaches us that fear of poverty should never stop goodness. Allah repeatedly reminds us that a shaitan threatens you with poverty, but Allah promises you forgiveness and abundance. Fear-based money decisions shrink the soul. Trust-based decisions expand it. My brothers and sisters, money kept with constant anxiety never feels sufficient, even if it is plenty. But money kept with tawakkul feels enough, even if it is little. One person earns less and sleeps peacefully. Another earns more and lives in fear. The difference is not income. The difference is trust. If you want Baraka in your wealth, remove fear from your heart. Replace it with reliance on Allah. Manage your money wisely, but let your heart rest in the one who provides. When trust enters, peace enters. And when peace enters, Baraka follows. One of the most dangerous places where money completely loses its Baraka is when it is earned through hurting, oppressing, or exploiting others. My beloved brothers and sisters, this type of money may look successful on the outside, but spiritually it is extremely heavy. It carries pain, injustice, and the tears of people, and anything built on pain can never bring peace. Hurting others does not always mean physical harm. Sometimes it is emotional harm. Sometimes it is financial pressure. Sometimes it is exploiting someone's weakness, ignorance, fear, or desperation. A person may say, "I did nothing illegal," or "This is how business works," or "They agreed to it." But remember, not everything that is legal is halal, and not everything that is common is acceptable to Allah. Money earned by cheating customers, overcharging unfairly, selling defective products, knowingly lying in deals, manipulating people, breaking promises, delaying payments, underpaying workers, or abusing authority carries no Baraka. Even if contracts are signed and profits increase, the spiritual damage remains. Allah is Al-Adl, the most just, and injustice never goes unnoticed by Him. Many people who earn money this way live with constant inner unrest. They may have cars, homes, and comfort, but they do not have peace. Their hearts feel tight. Their minds feel restless. Their relationships suffer. Their children may rebel. Their homes may feel cold, and they wonder why happiness never stays. This is not punishment without reason. This is the natural result of wealth that carries injustice. The Prophet warned us strongly about oppression, reminding us that it will be darkness upon darkness on the day of judgment. But that darkness often begins in this world, as anxiety, as dissatisfaction, as constant problems that seem to come from nowhere. A believer understands that when people are hurt for profit, that profit becomes a curse. Sometimes people justify themselves by saying, "If I don't do it, someone else will." But Allah does not judge you based on what others do. Allah judges you based on what you choose. Risk does not come from harming others. Risk comes from Allah, and Allah never requires injustice as a condition for success. This also applies to business partners, employees, and family members. Taking advantage of someone's trust, pressuring relatives financially, forcing unfair agreements, or using emotional manipulation to gain money all fall under this warning. Wealth gained through broken trust never stays long. Even if it stays temporarily, it leaves behind damage that money cannot fix. There are people who rise very fast in life, but they fall just as fast. And when you look closely, you often find injustice somewhere in their journey. Allah may give them time, but Allah never gives approval to oppression. Delay does not mean acceptance. Silence does not mean ignorance. Islam teaches us that true success is clean success, clean income, clean intentions, clean dealings. The believer would rather earn less with peace than earn more with guilt, because peace is worth more than profit. A small halal earning with Baraka can feed generations, while a large haram earning can destroy families. My brothers and sisters, if you have ever hurt someone financially, if you have taken something unjustly, if you have benefited from someone's loss, the door of repentance is open. Return what is not yours. Apologize where possible. Correct what you can. Allah loves those who return to justice. But continuing knowingly in injustice is extremely dangerous. Baraka cannot live where people's rights are violated. Baraka does not stay where tears are ignored. Baraka does not grow where hearts are broken for money. If you want Allah to bless your wealth, make sure no one was crushed so that you could climb. Remember, money is temporary, accountability is permanent, and the smartest person is not the one who earns the most, but the one who earns in a way that they can stand confidently before Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, money by itself is not what gives life comfort or difficulty. Money is only a tool. It is silent. It does not choose. It simply follows the hands and the heart that carry it. And that is why Islam does not only teach us how to earn money, but how to treat it, how to store it, how to spend it, and how to protect its baraka. Many people spend their entire lives chasing more, while never pausing to ask whether what they already have is truly blessed. The question is never just how much, the question is always how. How it was earned, how it is held, how it is given, and how it is protected. May Allah purify our wealth, fill it with baraka, and make us among those who handle His trust with honesty, gratitude, and sincerity. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, money itself is not evil. Money is a tool. It can be a means of worship, or it can become a source of destruction. What gives money its true value is not the amount, but where it comes from, how it is used, and where it is kept. Many people work hard, earn halal, and yet they still struggle. They ask, why does my money disappear? Why does it never stay? Why do I feel poor even when I earn? And sometimes the answer is not in how much you earn, but in how you treat the money Allah has already given you. Today, I want to speak to you about something very important. There are places where money should never be kept, not because of superstition, not because of fear, but because these places slowly remove baraka from your wealth. And when baraka is gone, no amount of money will ever feel enough. So listen carefully, not with fear, but with understanding. The first and most dangerous mistake people make with money is allowing haram income to sit alongside halal income. My brothers and sisters, this is not a small issue. This is not something light. Even a tiny amount of haram mixed into your wealth can quietly remove baraka from everything you own. People often underestimate this. They say, it's just a little interest from the bank, or it was only one dishonest deal, or I had no choice, or everyone is doing it. But Allah does not look at what everyone is doing. Allah looks at what is pure. Allah does not measure the way human beings measure. We look at numbers. We look at amounts. We look at how much is coming in. But Allah looks at the source. Allah looks at the intention. Allah looks at whether the wealth is clean or contaminated. A glass of clean water becomes harmful if even a drop of poison is mixed into it. In the same way, halal wealth loses its sweetness when haram is allowed to touch it. When money is earned through interest, cheating, lying, deception, fraud, exploitation, injustice, or taking advantage of people's weakness, that money carries no peace with it. Yes, it may increase your bank balance. Yes, it may help you buy things. Yes, it may make you look successful in front of people. But inside, something starts to break. You feel restless for no clear reason. You feel irritated more easily. Small problems turn into big arguments. Your home feels tense. Your heart feels heavy. You start asking yourself, why is nothing enough? Why am I still stressed? Why does happiness not stay? This is how haram wealth behaves. It does not announce itself loudly. It destroys quietly. It eats away at peace slowly. It brings bills, but it also brings anxiety. It brings comfort, but it removes contentment. And many people never connect their inner struggle with the source of their income. The Prophet warned us clearly that Allah is pure and accepts only what is pure. If we want baraka in our money, in our homes, in our children, and in our lives, we must be brave enough to separate ourselves from anything that displeases Allah, even if it feels difficult, even if it feels slow, even if it feels like everyone else is moving faster than you. No dua reaches its full strength when the hands are fed with haram. No charity fully shines when its source is dirty. No wealth lasts when its roots are poisoned. You may not see the damage immediately, but over time it always shows. That is why the believer chooses purity over speed, halal over shortcuts, and baraka over numbers. Another place where money loses its baraka is when it is hidden from zakat. My beloved brothers and sisters, money that is kept away from zakat is money that is locked, restricted, and deprived of Allah's blessing. Zakat is not a tax. Zakat is not a loss. Zakat is not a burden. Zakat is a cleansing. Many people misunderstand zakat. They think they are doing a favor to the poor. They think they are helping Allah. But Allah does not need our money. It is we who benefit. Zakat purifies your wealth the way water purifies the body. When zakat is given, the remaining wealth becomes lighter, cleaner, and more blessed. When someone hides money to avoid zakat, they believe they are being smart. They believe they are protecting their future, but in reality, they are suffocating their wealth. They are cutting off the very source of increase. Allah has never promised increase through hoarding. Allah has promised increase through giving. Many people complain, "My money never stays. No matter how much I earn, it finishes." Expenses keep coming from nowhere, and yet when Zakat time comes, they delay. They say, "Let me settle first. Let me become stable first. Let me wait until next year." But Allah says, "Give, and I will replace." Allah's promise has never failed, but people's trust often does. Zakat removes greed from the heart. It softens the soul. It reminds us that money is a trust, not ownership. When wealth circulates for the sake of Allah, it gains life. When it is locked away out of fear, it begins to rot spiritually. Even if the numbers grow on paper, the benefit shrinks in reality. True security does not come from stacking money. True security comes from knowing that Allah is pleased with how you handle what He gave you. When zakat is given properly, wealth feels lighter, stress reduces, contentment increases, and somehow, even with less, life feels more manageable. This is the miracle of Baraka. It cannot be explained by mathematics. It can only be experienced through obedience. Another place where money immediately loses its Baraka is when it is treated with neglect and disrespect. My brothers and sisters, this is something many people do without realizing its spiritual impact. Money is not something we worship, but it is a provision from Allah. And anything that comes from Allah deserves respect and responsibility. When money is thrown carelessly, left under dirt, placed in filthy areas, crushed, stepped on, or treated like it has no value, it reflects an attitude of ingratitude. And ingratitude is one of the fastest ways to lose blessings. Allah reminds us again and again in the Quran that gratitude increases blessings, while neglect causes them to disappear. Some people say, it's just money. But remember, it is not just paper. It represents food for families, education for children, shelter, health, and stability. When Allah gives provision, He watches how we handle it. Do we treat it with care, or do we treat it with arrogance and carelessness? Respecting money does not mean loving money. It means recognizing that it is a trust. When money is left in dirty places, mixed with filth, kept in unsafe conditions, or constantly lost due to carelessness, Baraka quietly leaves. You will notice that money slips away faster. Unexpected expenses appear. Things break. Repairs increase. And you wonder why you are always struggling even though you earn. This is not magic. This is a spiritual reality. Blessings stay where appreciation lives. When you treat Allah's gifts lightly, they begin to leave lightly as well. Alhamdulillah is not only said with the tongue. Gratitude is shown through behavior. By protecting what Allah has given, managing it responsibly, and not wasting it. The Prophet taught us to be balanced, not wasteful, not careless, and not extreme. Wasting money, losing money through negligence, or being careless with spending is also a form of disrespect. Money that is wasted unnecessarily carries no baraka, even if it was earned through halal means. A believer is mindful. A believer plans. A believer respects blessings without becoming attached to them. When money is kept organized, handled responsibly, and used wisely, Allah places peace in it. When it is treated with neglect, Allah removes ease from it. Remember, my brothers and sisters, Baraka does not come from how much you have. Baraka comes from how you treat what you have. Two people can earn the same amount, but one lives comfortably and peacefully while the other struggles constantly. The difference is not income. The difference is respect, responsibility, and gratitude. If you want Allah to protect your wealth, you must first protect the blessing within it. One of the most dangerous places where money loses its baraka is when it is kept, even though it does not truly belong to you. My beloved brothers and sisters, this includes money that is owed to someone, money held as a trust, money taken as a loan, wages that should have been paid, or any amount that is delayed without a valid reason. Many people underestimate this matter, but in the sight of Allah, the rights of people are extremely serious. When money is meant for someone else and you keep it as though it is yours, that money carries a heavy spiritual weight. You may convince yourself by saying, "I will return it later," or "I need it right now," or "They are not asking yet." But delaying the rights of people does not make the responsibility disappear. It only increases it. Even if the person is silent, Allah is not unaware. The Prophet warned us clearly that delaying payment when one is able to pay is a form of injustice. Injustice does not always look like oppression with force. Sometimes injustice looks quiet. It looks like postponement. It looks like excuses. It looks like ignored messages. And every day that money is kept wrongly, it blocks Baraka from the rest of your wealth. You may notice that when you hold on to money that is not yours, problems begin to appear. Your earnings feel tight. Your expenses increase. Peace disappears. You become easily irritated. Your heart feels unsettled. This is not a coincidence. Wealth that carries the rights of others cannot sit peacefully within the soul. Even if the amount is small, the impact can be enormous.